Planet Zoo, Planet Zoo, it's time to play Planet Zoo. Hey, welcome back to Planet Zoo. This is Martini 4. We're back here at Talbot National Zoo once again. And this time we are working on a very large project. This is going to be for the Asian section of the Adventure River Walk, the final section of this area of the zoo. And this is going to be housing our Indian elephants. Now, the St. Louis Zoo has a few different areas for the elephants to go to, so they're not just stuck in one kind of habitat. So I kind of modeled it after that. There's going to be actually 3 different viewing areas that are going to be completely different biomes. So there's going to be a grassland, a jungle or tropical, and then the temperate areas that they'll be able to traverse to and kind of explore. So here I'm just kind of laying out the boundaries, making the walls and everything. And with the bamboo here, I wanted to kind of give the effect that it kind of stops right there, but they can actually walk through the in between the stalks of bamboo and get back there to the elephant house. And the water area just gave me so much trouble this time. I ended up having to put up a bunch of glass walls to get the water level the right height that I wanted to. So yeah, that was quite annoying this time around. But now I'm just putting down some rock works, kind of making the edges look nice, and I wanted to make sure that the elephants wouldn't be able to climb up on the guest side of the river. So I kind of made it more of a cliff bank on that side, and then left their side sloped so they can go in and swim around. I know every time we went to the zoo, we would always hope that the elephants were playing around in the water. I don't know why that is. But yeah, that was one of our favorite things to see. And I remember as a kid, the elephants they had a a baby that they named Raja at the St. Louis Zoo. And yeah, I believe he's getting pretty old now. I mean, I'm in my 40s, and that was when I was just a youngster. So yeah, I saw a couple of things about it on social media or on the internet, and it seems like they said they were moving him, but don't quote me on that. So here with these mud walls, I didn't want one side looking nasty with those kind of lighter colored pieces poking through, so I just doubled the walls up. And if you pay attention, you'll notice that there's some openings in between the different habitats or different areas for these elephants. And I'll be placing a couple of different habitats in there. So I haven't quite decided what animals they're gonna be, but it took a lot of planning and trying to figure out how to get the keepers there and to get the boundaries and stuff worked out. But I think I got it. Here I was gonna put the corrugated metal up on top to just kind of have it a different texture, but um, I remembered that I wanted to do the doors, like the sliding doors and the stuff again with the corrugated metal, and I didn't think it would look good together. So here, working on the pathing to get the keepers exactly where I wanted them. So I did some elevated paths, which it is high enough for the elephants to walk under. They don't have a problem with it. And then just doing some interior walls. Yeah, I just put down the base work first, and I change things quite a bit as I go. Just because I have, different ideas and stuff. And I realize some things aren't going to work and other things will work better. So here you see I'm deleting a bunch of walls. So yeah, in the end though, I think it looks really good. I had to kind of design the other two kind of shelter areas for the other two habitats that are going to be in here at the same time. So you'll see this is one, and then on that other corner there is going to be another one. But yeah, I think it should work out just fine as long as I can get my barriers lined up. So if the animals, I might have to double up some walls just to keep it from saying that they've escaped when they really haven't. So yeah, you'll see that I've left this part in with the barriers so you can kind of get an idea of where everything's going, just to keep everything separated properly. But I guess I won't know if it works or not until I get the other habitats in there. But I wanted to just work on one at a time for it's just the sake of the videos. And here, yeah, just painting down the sand, because even if I go back and change it later, it just really annoys me to see the grass poking through the concrete when I'm laying it. So I just decided to paint it out first to get it out of the way. And then I just covered the entire floor with concrete. I feel for cleaning purposes, that's probably the best thing to do. And then here, just kind of laying it out a little bit. I didn't really focus too much on those little areas. And now this outer wall here, I changed it to just an electric fence for the time being. I kept running out of money, so I wanted to get the animals in there to be able to get the terrain and everything worked out properly. So I just changed that back fence to an electric fence because it was the cheapest one, and it would keep them in without them breaking through while I was working. I had to work a lot with the simulation running to keep my bank account up. Yeah, the larger my zoo gets, the harder it is for me to keep track of everything, but I guess that's the way it's supposed to be. So here, blocking off the water so the elephants can't get through. Trying to use kind of some different rocks to kind of keep with some sort of, theme. Not necessarily with the exhibit itself, but transitioning to the next one on that far side, that first side right there that I was working with. So yeah, this section here, I did them one section at a time. So this here is the grasslands part. That made the most sense because that's where it's coming from the Africa section. And that big mountain area you see right there is actually a train station. So the train comes in a little tunnel there from our central station back there at the front of the zoo. So passengers can get off, come out, take a look at everything. Others can get on and continue the ride. And I didn't want to put down a whole lot of foliage because I know elephants just trample everything, eat whatever they can. But I still wanted it to look nice and not just a bare habitat. So coming back, working my way over, I wanted to put a large keeper hut there since it would be, since I'm housing 3 different kinds of animals in the same area, but I just didn't have enough space. So I did 2 small keeper huts and then tucked this little staff room underneath the stairs. It fit just perfectly, and it doesn't stick out that other wall over there. I did go through and put trim around all the doorways and windows. For whatever reason, I either lost the footage or forgot to record it. So here, this is the tropical section of the elephant habitat. Instead of just leaving the mud walls bare, I put a bunch of these basket ferns and pitcher plants on it just to kind of decorate it up a little bit. And the bird's nest ferns. See, I do pay attention to some of the names on stuff. Yeah, I believe I used bamboo in all of them just because it's becoming my new favorite plant. That it looks good and it covers up a lot of unwanted things. And putting these bushes in, I'm not going to try to say the name because I screwed it up last time. But I was able to start using those again in this habitat, or this section of the habitat. So, of course, I plopped a bunch of those guys around. And I believe I used some more of the other kind of bamboo. I can't remember those names, but I just sunk them down to the ground just for that little bit of extra texture. And then I used a bunch of the mossy rocks just because it is supposed to be kind of a wetter looking jungle area. And I think they look cool. And I was going to try to put some vines and stuff on the walls, but then I decided against it and just put down a bunch of leaf litter. I really like putting the leaf litter down. Just gives it that little added texture of messiness. I really like those plants with the red stalks. I didn't even look at the name of them when I put them in, but yeah, those are cool. And now putting in the barriers for the guests. I use these Oceania wood pieces because I wanted some large kind of logs, but not the woodland type of log. So these worked out perfectly. I don't know if I'm entirely happy with the color I chose, but I wanted something a little bit lighter, so that's what I went with. And that was on the grassland area, and then over here on the jungle area, I used the just some the twilight stone pieces. Not concerned about the elephants, just want to keep the people out. Because again, I placed the rocks in kind of a cliff type of thing, so they can't really climb out of that side. And then reusing these signs here with the bamboo on this area. Oh, I guess I used them here too. I should pay attention to what I'm doing so I don't misspeak. But yeah, putting in some speakers for extra education. And now to work on the back area for the temperate side. And this here is only visible from the train. So I don't have any path going to it. So if visitors want to see this area, they have to get on the train to see the elephants here. In this fence, I'm just making a chain link fence. It's not to hold the elephants in, of course. They would just knock this right down. But I put up a double fence on this area. One to keep the guests from jumping off the train and climbing in. And then I do a stronger fence for the elephants. So you'll see that when we get there. I do leave it on the brick wall here just to make it easier to line everything up. I've found recently that that's a lot easier than trying to stay zoomed in really close and line up all of the posts on the fences and stuff, especially when it's really small and like the mesh fences and stuff. So a little tip there for anyone that didn't think about that. And then I just go back and delete all the brick parts, and then I'm left with my nice looking chain link fence there. I do wish I would have curved it around and followed the track just a little bit better. I probably won't go back and fix it because I'm kind of lazy like that. And since the video is already recorded and ready to go, I probably won't fix it, but it's something to keep in mind in the future. And then this here is the barrier to keep the elephants in. I use concrete pieces and kind of beef it up at the bottom. It's almost like the concrete barriers you see on the highways and stuff. But yeah, I thought it turned out pretty cool looking. And then this one here, I just kind of I follow that electric fence all the way around and then delete all the brick again. So I've got my double fence there. And then I make sure to move the actual barrier all the way around and change it to a null. So no more electric fence. But I realized that this is a little bit too high for the guests to see in, so I just lower it down just a little bit and then drop the terrain inside just to kind of give it that extra little level of protection there. So then I can start working on the habitat itself. I almost didn't put a water area in here since they do have two parts of the river that they can swim in, but it was such a large area back here, I decided to go ahead and just put in a little pond. And just throwing in bamboo here and there, kind of give it a little bit of coverage and height. So yeah, I thought that this was a really cool idea, since these animals do live in, you know, 3 very different biomes. So putting in 3 different areas for them to navigate through, instead of just trying to pick one and keeping them in there. So it gives them a little bit of variety, I think. And now just throwing down a bunch of these, I think it's bracken, just kind of giving it some ground coverage. That area right there I kind of blocked off with rocks, so they couldn't actually like walk over there and get stuck or anything. And then put in my favorite little bushes here, and I decided to add them all the way around the enclosure in between the fences, kind of give it that extra little security there. So if someone did climb the fence, they'd have to deal with the bushes as well. And these big logs, I always forget about them until I watch somebody's YouTube video where they use it, and I finally remembered them in this one. So I used them, and I really like the way they look. And our trip to a wildlife safari here a few weeks back, I paid attention to the elephant habitat, and they have these large, kind of rusty looking beams that they use to for shade. So I wanted to kind of recreate that out here, so they'd have a place to kind of get out of the sun without going inside. So I used the poles and just kind of copied them around to make a larger, kind of rusty looking pole with the shade on top. And I was surprised at how tall they are, but I guess they'd have to be, otherwise the elephants could just reach up and grab stuff and pull it down. So yeah, just kind of moved them around, made a little shelter for them there to get out of the sun. Now back to the building here, putting on the roof. For whatever reason, I don't know if I just said this or not, but I forgot to record the making of all the sliding doors and some of the trim on the inside. But if you pay attention here and there, you'll see the corrugated metal along the inside and outside of the doors. I just kind of put them where it made the most sense, like right there, the sliding doors on the outside, because there's nowhere for them to go on the inside. And there's some of them that are on the inside because it just made more sense. There was enough room to have them on the inside. And now just trying to figure out how to make this wall line up so I can put on a roof. I did try to just copy it over, but it wasn't lining up, so I just had to rebuild it from scratch on this side. Not that big of a deal. Copied and pasted roof panels over. Kind of a simple looking building, but I kind of like the way it came out. I did put in some glass skylights, just since it is a pretty sunny area. And here I wanted to make sure that it made sense on where the skylights were, so I didn't just have them right over top of a wall. And now putting in some windows here. Yeah, I like the way this turned out with the where the walkway is there, and adding that extra little half wall to kind of reach the top of that railing. And then this is what I did for the trim, just these metal beams. I figured using metal in here would probably be the best idea, so elephants weren't just destroying any kind of like wood trim or anything if they bumped into it. And then I also put a window underneath the path, because that's where the elephant's bedding and stuff is. And then I put in one-way glass, so people on the train can kind of look in as they go by, but it won't bother the elephants too much. And on the larger part of the wall there, on the inside, I take out some of that bedding and put in a feeder, just to kind of give it a little more interesting thing to look at. And I noticed that the signs were all African elephants, except for these. So that's what I ended up using. And I don't know if this really makes that much of a difference, but I assume since the train goes past the rhinos as well, I would put in a sign so it will show what's in that habitat there. And then this was kind of just I just had it there just so the keepers could get in there and stuff. So I went back and fixed the path and everything, made it look nicer. Kind of hugged the wall there. And here it wouldn't go over the train tracks because of the height difference, so I just lower the track and connect all the paths, decorate it up a little bit, and I was done. So that was my elephant build. I think it turned out pretty cool. Please leave me a comment and let me know what you think. This one took me a few days to build, just kind of working here and there, just because I wanted it to be right and not rush through it. So but yeah, they walk through the elephant house. There's 3 doors, so they can get to all 3 sections easily. And cinematics here, I had to leave this in. Sorry guys, it's such large poop, it's incredible. So yeah, if you haven't yet, like and subscribe. We are almost done with this river walk. There's 2 more animals I want to get in here, and then we will start in with Probably another big project with a reptile house. I have something in mind for that, and I want to put all of the reptiles in one giant building. So all the exhibits, all the habitats, everything reptile in the one building. So stay tuned for that. I appreciate everyone that watches and everyone that has subscribed already. I hope you guys have a great day, and I will see you on the next one. Thanks. Bye.